People like to talk badly about Klefki. Well, really the fairy type as a whole, but Klefki especially. Maybe it's because the Pokemon based on human objects seem boring or lame. A trainer has their favorites, isn't any shame in it, and I can't fault people for sticking to what works. It's a shame though. More importantly, it's dangerous. Sure, it's unlikely that they would hurt us. We humans are friends to all types of Pokemon, some more beloved than others, and they are friends back. The fairy Pokemon are no exception. I train Klefki, so when I talk of these things I speak from experience, but I would never take on more than the Klefki I have. Some people want to train a whole team of fairy types. They are brave or stupid. At the end of the day, they are still incredibly powerful. Some reachers want to delve into type-wide temperament and personality, make profiles for trainers so they understand their Pokemon better. Fire types are more energetic, ghost types tend to be aloof, that sort of thing. I've seen some of this firsthand, but in all of my years, my Klefki has been the worst. Not in temperament, no. It's always happy, which is nice, but more so, it plays pranks. See, ghosts might be aloof, a little cold, but other than the Gengar line, they aren't terribly playful. No, it's the fairies. The fairy breed are playful. Too playful. The Sylveon, with those feelers, can tie your shoes when you aren't looking. The Togepi's can get underfoot and trip you. Aromatisse and Floette can cause you to sneeze and have allergic reactions by swarming you with perfume and pollen. They all have their ways. When something small goes wrong and your day turns bad, if you listen, you can hear the faint giggle of your fairy Pokemon. They don't mean to hurt you, to cause you to land on your arm wrong and snap it, to make you go to the hospital because you can't stop coughing. It's all supposed to be harmless. They aren't mean. Not that I can tell. They aren't stupid, though if you look at some of them, they might look like it. Like any Pokemon, they have to survive by any means. They adapt. They watch. You might be tempted to put your guard down around fairy Pokemon. After all, they look so cute and look like they would fit right in with small children. But this would be a mistake. I see young trainers do this. More importantly, I see the faint gleam of mischief in the fairy eyes. Now, my Klefki, I think it's learned me well. Jingling keys, well, that hardly sounds threatening, right? I've heard the chatter and gossip in the Pokemon centers. Glorified keyring, teething toy. They mock Klefki because they are fortuitous never to have one set its sight on them. Ever notice how very few places are locked on your travels? Our world is, despite the crime gangs, rather safe. Most violence and crime is related to Pokemon. Thieves take TMs and rare Pokemon, not your television or cash. They don't want your life, they want your Pokeballs. The last report of a mugging in Unova was years ago. Needless to say, it didn't go well for the would-be perpetrator. We humans learned from a young age not to worry about such things. Our parents rarely lock doors. In turn, we rarely do either. We have locks, though. They got used when we were children and had to be left alone. Too young to handle strong Pokemon, so we were locked in. Maybe a neighbor or two would check in on us, and sometimes even babysat us, but our use were of independence and fear. We'd stay up late when our parents left for a date night after being told to go to bed. Maybe jump on the furniture and eat all the cookies in the house. Lied about being sick, left home, and or doing things we aren't supposed to. We'd hear that lock and key, jingling keys, and we'd run to our rooms and pretend that we've been good all along, that our parents won't catch us, that we weren't in trouble. The sound of keys jingling is something that is normal, but rare. It's a sound that carries memories and weight that most don't even think about until it comes up. It's a part of life, not a big deal. Not when you expect it, but when you don't, you're a kid again. jumping on the couch with smeared cookie crumbs on your face and you're about to be caught. There is power in that, expecting it. Imagine, if you will, you're in the dark of a forest. It's a cloudy night, so you can't see much. You could check the time, but you guess it's around midnight. You expect a hard night's rest on the forest floor. Around you are the sounds you'd expect. Pokemon of the night. Things go quiet. Then, a strange sound reaches you. Not of a normal Pokemon. It's not soft hooting or wings flapping. It's artificial. You can tell it's not walking, or the sound of a Pokemon. It's broken, disjointed, like something breaking but then pulling into itself again. It moves in rough circles around your camp, closer and closer until you finally pin the sound. Jingling. The first night, it's almost humorous. You lose some sleep but try to push it out of your head. Even ask your Klefki to come back and rest. Maybe it does, happily even, like you caught it in a game when you were it. Because you are. You've been marked. You are its trainer. It wants to play with you. Night after night, until the Pokemon learns to switch it up because you get used to it. Until you learn to keep another Pokemon out or just sleep inside. They behave for a time, until one night it starts again. The condition's perfect. Maybe it's foggy and you're near some dense trees. There could be an echo. You wake up, like lightning, you search for the source. You remember and assume it's your own Pokemon. It's harmless to you, you tell yourself. It won't hurt me. Not on purpose, anyway. But the sound of jingling, metallic clinging, clanking as it moves. In the darkness you can't see where your Klefki is, but you hear it. It comes closer and dips back, circling you. You're reminded of how a hunted Pokemon gets cornered before the end comes. Logically, you know many things. That you can take out another Pokemon, or recall it, if you could find it to aim the beam anyway. If you ask it, it laughs. It's harmless, it's sweet, it smiles and gives you flowers, and you wonder, how long will it do this? Why it does it? You can't really control them. They are not meant to be controlled. Of all the types and all the personalities, the fairy are outside of complete understanding. They look easy to control, to understand, and feed them some food. Do they not become happy? They don't want to hurt us, me, or you, or your cousin, or anyone. There isn't any fun in hurting you, because then you'd be on guard. I train Klefki for months now, so what I say from experience. Spare a thought for me tonight. The jingling might start tonight. It might not. I'm somewhere between towns, and I got too tired to make it to a hotel. So I'm sleeping on the forest floor again. I look at the time, the faint glow of my gear lighting up the darkness, and I feel like a target. I wait and wait, unable to close my eyes because I fear that it's coming. The sound that doesn't stop. It should be in its ball, but I know by now it's not. I shouldn't have left my bag near that log as I wouldn't have filled my bottle in the river. It finds its own way out of its Pokeball. Has every time before. My mind is tired. My feet and legs protesting, even the thought of getting up from the ground. I thought I could make it through, but I thought wrong. Who would believe you if you told them you couldn't handle a Klefki, a fairy type? It's preposterous. That's what everyone said. That's what everyone else will say after they hear my rambles. I'm used to it. It's just a set of keys. It's smaller than you. And while I think of all the reasons why Klefki and its kin are slain ridiculous, I start to hear keys jingling. I try to disappear into my sleeping bag. The fairy types aren't evil, but they aren't good either.